and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
The Robert Scott Bell Show.
Oh, look at all these trillions of dollars debt, lost jobs, and foreclosed homes.
Did I do that?
You dug yourself a hole and you crawled in it.
Robert Scott Bell.
How did the Department of Homeland Security get into the medical business?
Joe, we have a potential pandemic.
A national health emergency.
The sky is falling. A piece of it just hit me on the head.
Robert Scott Bell.
We will make this the most honest, ethical, and open Congress in history.
Is there any insanity in your family?
Do we have the power to tell people what they have to eat every day?
Senator Coburn,
Today, Junior?
Taking on bureaucrats and corporations that would stand in the way of health freedom and making sense out of medical propaganda. The voice of health, freedom, and liberty, Robert Scott Bell.
This hour on the Robert Scott Bell Show, we go back to the healing revolution with Dr. Frank King and another important topic in terms of empowering you to heal yourself, because let's face it, the doctors are falling down on the job. Even if they want to do a good job, they're often limited by what? The regulations, the licenses, etc. Now, on the heels of the acknowledgement that modern medicine is now the third leading cause of death due to medical errors, is it any wonder that our veterans are suffering similarly or even more so, coming off of, for instance, the different foreign excursions, and the leading into the Gulf War illness, which we've covered over the years here on the Robert Scott Bell Show. About a year ago, we had a retired Army man, and he was in the National Guard as well because of the condition. He had to transfer out because of Gulf War illness. Glenn Stewart is his name. He's got a Google Plus page I want you to know about, and a YouTube page. We want to support our warriors that have come back and become very ill due to a lot of things. I speculate on some we know for sure, but Glenn is back. Glenn Stewart, welcome back to the Robert Scott Bell Show.
Hello, sir.
Well, listen, I'm honored to have you back on board. It's been about a year. We have archives of our previous interview, but you have some updates. And first and foremost, I want to let everybody know, July 16th, if you're in our nation's capital, the Lincoln Memorial is the place to be at 9 a.m. for veterans and supporters of the vets that are suffering from Gulf War illness and more. Glenn, tell us about that and what's been going on.
Well, what we're looking for, this is open to veterans of all war eras and family members, supporters. Basically, we are looking to stand up to the government and say, look, enough is enough. You guys sent us to war, and we're not getting the help that we desperately need over here. You know, we have our claims which are being illegally denied, long wait times for care just to see a doctor or specialist. And then on top of that, there's no accountability when it comes to Veteran Administration executives who commit criminal acts. They're basically given a slap on the wrist and told, keep on doing your job. And some of these individuals should be in jail right now.
What, in your experience, Glenn, in working with the VA system, you've mentioned already claims illegally denied, long wait times, no accountability. But what about when you're finally able to see a doctor? Do they really have a clue as to how best to help you and your fellow soldiers recover from something that they don't even know what causes it?
Absolutely not. There are no centers of excellence. I have not encountered a single one nationwide. This is not just confined to one state. You know, one of the things we've been pushing for is to try to establish centers of excellence. And what that means is that basically, you know, like Gulf War illness, you know, the general practitioner is not going to have any kind of clue on how to treat or, you know, what involves this kind of specialty ailment. You know, it is a special type of health, illness, and they have no idea how to treat it. So the only thing they're really doing is treating the symptoms, not the root cause of the problem.
Well, and that to me is such a big problem, because the VA is part of the allopathic medical monopoly, and they're not really trained to acknowledge the role of toxins, the role of vaccine injury, all of the heavy metals and other exposures that have contributed to this so-called Gulf War illness and even Gulf War II. And the question is, how are you getting by? Because you barely can get into the VA, and many of our soldiers are destitute or near destitute, don't have the money to really treat this appropriately through other or alternate means, whether it be medical or otherwise.
Well, I get by excuse me, doing my own research and trying to find ways, natural ways, instead of typical pharmaceutical, popping pills, remedies that will help to try to detox my body and energize the cells into doing what they're supposed to be doing. Because we are damaged all the way to the cellular level. So, I load up on stuff like CoQ10, vitamin D3, B12, ginkgo, etc. All these natural supplements in order to try to energize, recharge, and get these cells to actually function correctly. So, because the pharmaceutical remedy, let's give them Benefax and let's give them, Gabapen and this and that, that doesn't help.
Do you get any kind of help or support from the government or VA system to utilize the treatments that are helping you in terms of dietary supplements, or are you just on your own in this case?
In most cases, I am on my own. I do have a PCP that happens to be a Vietnam veteran, so he is very receptive to what I have to tell him. I'm one of the lucky ones. In most cases, most veterans, when it comes to the VA PCP, you're just a number to them. They don't even want to hear it.
Glenn, what does the acronym PCP stand for those that are not in the VA system?
Primary care physician.
Okay.
That's your, just like your family doctor.
Right. Of course, PCP is also known as angel dust on the street. That's why people might be going, what is he talking about? Why would he be going, right? The VA can't help you, but they'll give you angel dust. Now, speaking of drugs or medicines, what about the use of cannabis, whether it be CBD, THC, or a combination? The VA still doesn't open up to that because the feds still call it a Schedule I drug. But the reality is it seems to be helping veterans in many ways. I don't know specific to Gulf War illness. We've talked about it for PTSD and other things. Have you talked to any Gulf War vets like yourself or experienced it yourself, any benefit?
I push for the legalization of it. I mean, this is the thing. Cannabis oils have been proven in several studies that there are so many health benefits to it. I mean, they help with seizures. They have been proven to help people with fibromyalgia, with muscle, with joint and muscle and joint pain, which I have, and there has been so many health benefits to it, but yet it's still illegal. And that's one of the things I continue to push is say, look, the typical pharmaceutical approach is not working. Let's look into this. Let's open the gates, the possibility of let's try this out. Because me, myself, I don't want to get high. I don't like that. I don't like the sensation. But if there is some kind of natural remedy out there, whether it be marijuana itself or cannabis oil, and it would actually help me, let me have that, please.
Well, is there a way that people can contribute or donate? I mean, we have, for instance, CV Sciences that makes CBD oil from hemp, and it is fully legal in all 50 states, and it doesn't make you high. I'm thinking that could be of benefit if there's a way that people could reach out and try to support you.
On the CBD side, I really don't know much about it. I don't know what kind of organizations are out there that are trying to push legislation. I mainly try to push with the VA to say, look,
sure,
let's do a little bit of research when it comes to, because I'm trying to focus on Gulf War illness.
Right.
So I try to focus on, okay, let's try to get some kind of research that says, hey, let's try to give these people, some medicinal marijuana, whether it's CBD, hemp, whatever, I don't know all that stuff. But and see if maybe, just maybe, it might help a little bit, you know?
Right. Now, Glenn, what else have you done in terms of detoxification, like really moving to pull whatever residual exposures you've had in the course of the development of Gulf War illness out of your body?
Well, some of the things I've been doing is taking, I take CoQ10, and you want the ubiquinol form, you know, which is a fast absorption into your system, right? Mm-hmm. I take that, and I also take these immune booster, like Airborne, or I take the, it's called Ester C, Immune Support System. And I was really surprised because, you know, when it comes to Gulf War illness, we suffer from autoimmune deficiency, you know.
Yes.
But and I thought, I thought myself I had contracted AIDS. But when you get tested for it, it comes up negative. And so practically every day you feel like you have the flu. It's like you have the flu, but you have a low-grade fever.
Right.
And, you know, it's, I would say right around 99.3 to 99.8.
Right.
That's the gap.
Yeah, but your immune system can't muster the fever it needs to, for instance, to burn things out. Now, we're about out of time here, Glenn, but I would love to send you a copy of the book that Ty Bollinger and I wrote, Unlock the Power to Heal, if you're up for reading. It's not a long book, but it is chock full of a lot of information that you may be missing, because if you're focusing on things like Airborne and CoQ10 and Ester C, there are so many more efficient ways to get you well and to get you over the hump here, at least facilitate an improvement, and I'd be happy to send you that if you'd like.
Absolutely. One other thing that I started taking is bentonite.
Bentonite clay. Good. It works for adsorption in the GI tract, which is good. But there's a lot more that we can help you with, and I'd like to. So we're out of time for this segment. Glenn, it's great to have you back on board. Please stay in touch. Everybody remember, July 16th, Lincoln Memorial, 9 a.m. Veterans like Glenn Stewart are going to be there. I want to show your support. If you're in the neighborhood, go down there and support them. Also, links are up in the show notes to the Google Plus page and the YouTube page so you can learn more. Glenn, appreciate all that you do. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you, sir.